Alright, today we're going to talk about division, I guess how it relates to fractions, um, and basically how it relates to word problems and how we can figure it all out. So, alright, Amelia is sharing 4 slices of cheese with 5 friends. How much cheese will each person get? Explain how you decided. So, how we figure out this is clearly a division problem, right? She's splitting it up equally amongst friends. She has a certain amount of something, she's splitting it up. Okay, how much cheese will each person get? Um, all right, so how we do this is we think about what's being split up, and that is 4 slices of cheese. So we have 4, and it's being divided into how many pieces? 5 pieces. So this becomes 4 divided by 5, which equals, as I mentioned, the division bar, or the division sign, is equal to the fraction bar. So that is equal to 4/5. Each person is going to get 4/5. And if I were to add 4/5 5 times, right? Because each of the 5 people gets 4/5 of the cheese, it would end up being 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, which equals 20/5, which is the same as 20 divided by 5, which equals 4. So all of the 4 slices of cheese are accounted for. Right? So this becomes 4/5. Now, the big thing here is how you set this up, because which number comes first, right? And basically, the number that comes first, which is called your dividend, is always going to be what you have, right? That's being split up. So if we have 4 slices of cheese that's being split up, that's what's going to come first. If we're splitting up 8 pizzas, 8 is going to come first. Okay? So whatever we're splitting up is going to come first. Then however many pieces we're splitting it up into, that's what's going to be the divisor. So now, when we used to do division problems, in 3rd grade or something, it would be pretty easy to figure out, because it would be something like 63 slices of cheese and 9 friends, and it would just go in evenly. So obviously you would be like, oh, 63 goes first. That's what we're splitting it up into. But once you start getting into fractions and numbers that don't go evenly, you can't use this method of just being like, well, it must be 63 divided by 9, because we don't know how to do 9 divided by 63. So you have to use this method of being like, what is actually being divided, and then divided by how many pieces it's being divided into. And if you so I mean, that's probably the best way to put it. You can also think about it like this too, after you get your answer. Let's say just by accident you put 5 divided by 4. Okay? And that's going to equal 5/4, which then becomes, since 4/4 equals 1, it would be 1 and 1/4. Now, technically, I should be able to multiply this by 5 and then get 4 slices of cheese. But if I multiply this by 5, it's going to give me 6 1/4, right? It's going to give me more than 5. So it's going to give me more than 4 slices of cheese. So at that point, I'm going to be like, oh, well, obviously this is wrong. So you have to think about your answer too. And that's kind of a good way of double checking. Like, because it'll be like, should this answer, if it's something like there's 8 slices of pizza left, everyone, and then it's like you're splitting that up between a bunch of people. How many slices of pizza does everyone get? If everyone gets more than 8 slices, you didn't just make up those slices, right? You need to think about, does this answer make sense? And those are basically the two biggest things to think about. Does this answer make sense? Is this way too big or way too small for what the question is actually asking? And to just make sure that you put them in the right order. And the right order is whatever is being divided by the amount of pieces that they're being divided into, right? And another hint is you're never going to divide people, right? You'll divide pizza, but you're not going to divide a person. You can't have 2/3 of a person. Okay, so these are kind of just a few little helpful hints and tricks about division word problems. Hopefully it is helpful.